Blog Talk Radio.
We have our temple service every Sunday. Starts around 10:30, and usually goes in the afternoon. And around 10, between 10 and 10:30, four white males who were dressed darkly, dressed in all black clothing, came in and opened fire on our congregation. We don't know how many hostages left. One of the gunmen is down, so there's three left. Four white males, dressed in all black clothing, came in and opened fire. One of the gunmen is down. Four white males.
What you heard just then, Planet Earth, was a representative of the Sikh congregation in Wisconsin that was savagely attacked this weekend. That's right. He said 4 shooters. 4. I'm going to give you another chance to hear it in a moment, and we're going to go talk quite a bit about it tonight. But first, I want to say good evening. Welcome to Extraordinary Year. I'm Tim Bravo. Thanks for joining us tonight. T-minus 134 days until December 21st, 2012. So I'm also alone tonight. So if you're out there listening, you want to talk about the crazy events of the last week, guest call-in is 858-956-2147. You'll find that on the top of the page of the episode. So the first thing I really want to talk about tonight is this Sikh Temple shooting, because what's not being talked about is what's most important about it. What's not being told the American public in popular media is conspicuous. Namely, the 4 shooters. I mean, let's start with that. The fact that there were 4 shooters, according to a member of the congregation. 4 shooters. He said, one's down, that leaves 3. Means there are 3 left. But why aren't we talking about that? Then why don't you know about that already? And another aspect that's not being talked about, even while his face has become the face of this tragedy, it's Amardeep Kaleka, who is the director of the upcoming film SIRIUS that is being done in conjunction with the Disclosure Project run by Dr. Stephen Greer. Adam Kaleka's father just happens to be the president of the Sikh congregation and happens to have died in this shooting. That's not being talked about. Even while Kaleka himself is going on TV and talking about this tragedy, there's no discussion of who he really is other than now becoming the face of this tragedy. There's no mention of what he's currently doing or why he might already be known for something other than having his father being killed in this event. So what's up with that? Why are we talking to Amardeep Kaleka and not really finding out who he is? Because who he really is a guy who is working hand in hand in a major documentary to be released later this year. That is the it's the culmination of all of Greer's work put into a now or never kind of film. That he's got secrets that he's going to be revealing. There's allegedly supposed to be some video of a little alien, or the body of a little alien. We're talking very small and supposedly definitive proof type of stuff. But that's just one of the things. And we know that Dr. Stephen Greer has what he calls a dead man's trigger, which is him saying, look, I have this information that you wouldn't want to be released. I'm telling the world I have it. I've given it to a certain number of people, and if I'm killed, that information will be released. So that, the people who would do the killing know that he has what he says he has, and therefore won't kill him, and that's his insurance. By letting everybody know that he has this dead man's trigger, and they know that he's not bluffing, then they're not going to kill him. They're not going to touch him. But who can they touch? And Amardeep Kaleka is boom right there. What do they don't like? What is it they don't like? They don't like this whole movie, the SIRIUS movie. What are they going to do about it? They can't get Greer, so what are they going to do? They're going to get Kaleka. And what do they do to intimidate people? They kill their family. They say, look, we can't touch you, but we can touch someone close to you. And it just happens to fit the whole, another mass gun event theme that's going on right now, which, could be just convenient. They need to kill some people, so, hey, as long as some people are going to die, why don't we kill an enemy? That's kind of what I'm guessing might happen. And poor Kaleka, he probably had no idea what he was getting into when he signed on to this project. And I just feel for him. My heart goes out to him and that whole congregation for having to suffer through this attack. And I'm sure yours does too. So there were 4 shooters, and I said I was going to let you guys hear that again. So let's hear this again, now that you know what it is you're listening to. This is a Sikh from the congregation discussing what happened that morning. And in case you're wondering whether or not this is being intentionally left on the cutting room floor, immediately after this guy's bite on the video, without any cut, is the cop bite that everybody's heard. The one that talks about the first officer on the scene. That line is the first line out of that cop's mouth after the Sikh congregation member stopped talking. Sikh congregation member stops talking, captain or whoever the police spokesperson was starts talking. Where does the soundbite start? Exactly there. Everything before there, completely ignored. Completely ignored. Oh, what did he say? He didn't say anything important there. What was it?
We have our temple service every Sunday. Starts around 10:30, and usually goes in the afternoon. And around between 10 and 10:30, 4 white males who were dressed darkly, with all black clothing, came in and opened fire on our congregation. We don't know how many hostages left. One of the gunmen is down, so there's 3 left.
3 left, huh?
4 white males with all black clothing came in and opened fire. One of the gunmen is down. 4 white males.
4 white males. The mainstream story on this from day one has been one shooter, who is conveniently dead. Was he Oswalded? At this point, I think it's fair to ask. You might say, oh, you crazy conspiracy theorist. He got killed in a shootout, so he was obviously, taken care of. We were told he was killed in a shootout. We were told bin Laden was killed in a shootout a little while ago, too. We were told that there was only one shooter on Kennedy. We were told that Lee Harvey Oswald did it. But he didn't get to tell his side of the story. And neither is this guy. But his 3 compatriots, well, if we ever catch up with them, we might find out, oh, but we're not even looking for them because they don't exist. No, it was this one guy, and he is a demon, and he's a white supremacist, and he's in a white supremacist band, and was a former, he's a veteran. Okay. Let's talk a little more about this guy then. Oh, so you don't say. He's in the Army, huh? Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, his mother says the Army changed him from a lovely, gentle child. And if you ask me, that fits the PSYOPs, Black Ops hypothesis that we hear on this. Now, I don't think that, those rumors are flying, and they're always going to fly, but we're talking about before it's news and stuff like that. It hasn't even made it to Raw Story yet. So I don't think that there's anything backing those up. There's just rumors that have been thrown around the internet. And if anybody has any evidence that says that this guy had Black Ops or PSYOPs experience and or training in his military career, please let me know. But as far as I know, that's just a rumor. But this would fit that hypothesis, the fact that, Mommy says military made him change, and he wasn't lovely and gentle anymore. So we have a vet who went bad in the service, according to family. And let's also discuss the fact that this shooting happened the day after Disclosure Day, after D-Day, after August 4th. The first day after August 4th, the date of the divine disclosure deadline that we've all been talking about, and that has been basically handed down publicly by the Galactics through crop circles. It's not, I mean, that's like their headlines. It's like something, blah, 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 and then they're saying, oh, you remember those polar clocks? You remember that crop circle? And then this other one that we just did, and how they point to August 4th? Yeah, well, this is what that's about. And then it comes and goes. And then the next day, the first day after, there's another mass gun violence event, and it kills the father of the director of the Disclosure movie. Now, we know Dr. Greer's got a dead man's trigger, so they can't get him, they get Kaleka. The fact that these things are being ignored in the mainstream media is circumstantial evidence that there's a conspiracy. Because it's obviously out there. It's like, look, I just played this stuff for you. It's out there. You can go find that story. But it's not being disseminated. Journalism is not doing its job. And people are continually being lied to. You can't blame the populace for swallowing the story because it's everywhere. We all know it. And we all know that one person shot Kennedy. We all know that 19 hijackers are responsible for 9/11. We all know that Timothy McVeigh was the mastermind of the Oklahoma City bombing. We all know bin Laden just died last year in Pakistan, right? No, we don't know. And so because we keep seeing these things and seeing these lies, we have to be able to see that this is obvious evidence of a conspiracy, and these people they're getting sloppy. And if you have evidence of a conspiracy in this situation, you have to ask yourself, why? Why is there a conspiracy? Why would there be a conspiracy against against Kaleka? Why? Well, the obvious is disclosure, and it's just the day after. Seriously, I mean, this happened. Did everybody else on the planet see what happened Sunday? Because I'm pretty sure that we all did. And how are we not putting these pieces together? How are we not? Okay, so you know what, guys? Give me a call if you got any sort of opinion on this, or if you have thoughts on it. 858-956-2147, 858-956-2147. All right, so let's move on to other stuff. Today, I want to talk about fake UFOs and the damage they do. Fake UFO videos and the damage that they do. Allegedly, last night in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, there was a fantastic UFO sighting, and it was caught on video, and it was pretty spectacular. But then I took a look at it, and I had a feeling something wasn't right about it. And so I really looked at it, downloaded it, looked at it in HD, and I was able to debunk it fairly easily. And if you go to the Facebook page, you'll see what I'm talking about. There were just tons of stuff that screamed fake about it that, in the end, I proved that this was a fake. And the problem is that in 1 day's time, less than a day's time, it's had thousands and thousands of hits on a fake UFO in a time when we're all really looking for the real thing, and really, those of us out here who have been waiting, who believe that, things are really on their way, it's freaking annoying to see this stuff and just be like, don't fake it. Don't fake it. There's enough real stuff out there. Support the real stuff if it's part of your, if what you want to do is get people thinking about UFOs, don't fake them, because it's obviously fake, and it gets debunked, and it taints the whole thing. And I think that we, as light workers, as believers, as human beings who are desirous of a better world and desirous of truth in our lives, in a society that works with truth, I think we need to be more vocal in commenting on these fake videos. I'm not saying you think it's fake and then you'll lambast them. I'm saying if you can prove it's fake, or somebody proves it's fake, let them know that's not cool, and leave a comment for others to see. And if you see someone else being like, "Oh, dude, come on," thumb them up, because I just think that we need to be more vocal about these things, because really it's kind of irresponsible, in my view. So 213, is that you, Pete?
Hey, man, it's me. How you doing?
I saw the 213 and figured it could only be you.
Hey, man, you know how it goes. L.A.,
yeah.
But living in Tucson. L.A., but living in Tucson.
So how are things out in Tucson tonight?
Rainy.
What?
Yeah,
rainy?
It's raining, man. Yeah, it's raining.
You're in Tucson, Arizona in August.
Yeah.
And it's raining.
We've been getting a lot of rain.
Oh, perfect. Thanks. You know what? You could turn the faucet off and let us have it upstream now.
No, we ain't about to do that. We needed to.
Oh, well, we need it too, brother. And
yeah, I hear you.
We still see the planes every day around here, so we know that they're messing with it. You guys seeing the chemtrail planes down there?
Every now and again I do, over the Recon Mountains, but it hasn't been too bad.
Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe what they're doing with them over here is part of keeping up that stationary front that keeps everything out. But
but I don't think it's the chemtrails that's doing that's giving us this weather that is so dry and hot. I think it's solar activity. I think it's directly related to solar activity, no doubt.
Well, I'm not going to dispute the fact that solar activity has a direct effect on everything energetically with the Earth, and so undoubtedly that's got to be some sort of a factor. And at the same time, Pete, I know that they have figured out how to control the weather, and with the aim of controlling the planet, with the whole quote, "Control the weather, you control the planet." And because I know that they can, I have to believe that they do, and therefore whatever we experience in the way of extremes has to be intentional. And that's my thinking anyway.
Hey, man, that's cool. It could be that. Who knows? It could be a mix of it all. You throw in a little chemtrails, that modifies the weather, and with man-made, pollution that we've already contributed to it, and a solar storm hitting us, it might just be a perfect storm. You know what I mean? That we're creating.
Yeah, the sun's been interesting the past couple days. Well, actually all week, with this one little filament that's been hanging out, throwing off CMAs. I think it's
Go ahead.
It's shot off 2 or 3, and they've hit us, but the Ovation Prime hasn't been hit too bad. Not like it was the last time we had a real solar burst a couple weeks back.
I didn't even hear that CMEs were hitting us. So I know Soho, though, shut down their website for the week. They hadn't updated it for a whole week. And that was great.
I know the Suspicious Observer has been getting getting his feeds just fine, and has been airing updates each morning with Soho imagery. So it can't be too bad.
Really?
That or he's using GOES. He might be using GOES, but I'm pretty sure he uses both. And if you check out Suspicious Observer's channel on YouTube, and I don't recommend that just to you, Pete. I recommend that to everybody listening. He does these 2-minute updates every morning. They're usually 2 minutes, 2 to 3, and sometimes he runs over 3 if there's a lot to talk about. He'll give you the headlines and then give you links to everything underneath, and he always covers the sun. And I think you'll find, I think you, Pete, will find that particularly interesting because you get a solar update every single morning, and it's and he's well spoken and really knowledgeable while he's talking about. So I definitely recommend checking him out.
All right, that would be cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
So,
but yeah, I'm living in Tucson here, and we had that shooting here last year. I was standing.
Yeah,
in
real
line,
difference.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was standing. I know people still have a lot of questions about that one too.
I haven't heard anything particularly indicative of a conspiracy on that one, but that guy was definitely batshit. It may have just been a successful operation, except for the fact where she didn't die.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was. Yeah.
I'm sure that was unexpected.
It was definitely unexpected. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, she's a good lady too,
Oh, definitely. Apparently, she is.
Yeah. I went. Let's see. I went to one of the guys that was shot. I went to his church. I went to one of the guys that was shot and killed, and then I went to the funerals of 3 of the people.
Well, we all know about the little 8-9-year-old girl. Was it 8? Was she an 8-year-old girl?
Well, she was. What was last year? That was 2011. So she was 10 because she was born on 9/11.
The little girl was that died.
Yeah.
Oh,
she was born on the day of 9/11.
Oh, see, that's a story I didn't know. Well, that's just a crazy incident or coincidence. Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, Christina Green. I went to her funeral, man. I've never seen so many bikers at a funeral.
Yeah.
I mean, the place was packed because the lawyers or what's that group? The Baptist Church.
Oh, the Westboro Baptist Church, the pride of Kansas, the pride of Topeka, the Westboro batshit crazy bastards. Yeah. We love having.
I wonder if they're gonna go up and protest the sheiks.
You know what? And this is a question I have, and I've tried to get local news to cover this. My question is, where do they get their money for all this traveling? Because they're always going all over the place, and multiple people. Where do they get the money for that? Who is bankrolling this?
They're lawyers. They keep on suing the system and winning.
But where's the money coming from? Oh, well, no, I don't think they're getting money. They're just getting privilege. They're getting let into places. They're getting to continue their free speech by really abusing it and being the worst example of it. But
and they're a family of lawyers. They're attorneys and lawyers.
Wow, you know more about them than I do, buddy.
Yeah, hey, if you're a lawyer, you're going to make money. Chase down an ambulance for a day, and you got 50 grand in your pocket.
Then you have to get people who actually use your service, because I'm sorry, I could be on death row, and I am not using a Westboro lawyer. Not that I'm ever going to be on death row, unless they falsely accuse me of something, and then they can kill me anyway. I don't care. They can't take me.
Yeah, I hear you. But these shootings that go on, man, I kind of look at them like, you got to let the system take its course. I mean, we could question them until we're blue in the face, and 40 years later, we still or 50 years later, we still haven't gotten a complete answer on Kennedy, and I doubt if we ever will.
Well,
and with the Sheik and the shootings in Aurora and the shooting in Tucson and I just don't think we get the complete answer all the time. When the files close, they close.
I think you're right. I think we will never find out the truth until the elite, the Illuminati, the cabal are taken out. But the thing is, they're going to get taken out. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. On the other side of time, I just believe it's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. And then the truth about everything will be known. Anything you could possibly want to know the answer to can be accessed through the Akashic records, through the source, through the same way that Casey had it. There's nothing that any one of us can do that the rest of us can't do spiritually. And so we know that we all have spiritual capabilities that are untapped, and that belief is the key that unlocks things. And with belief and exposure and experience, we're all going to be able to tap the source field and know whatever we need to know. And I think that's part of ascension, is reunification with that part of our spirituality. And I really believe that's coming.
Yeah, but I look at it as, here we are, we're sitting in this system. The system is I don't think it's kind of like, we're going to push up against this Illuminati force and we're just going to, it's going to break the bubble. I think what's going to happen, it's a system that is meant to kill itself. This system is meant to die.
Well, yeah, it's certainly doing a good job.
Oh, all the earmarks are there. Look at our financial. We're taking debt from debt now. We're not going to last long off of this.
Well, exactly. Everything is poised to crumble, and when it does, we will have good guys there to keep it from actually falling all the way down, and then we'll build a new world.
Okay,
and that's why we look at these things, and it's all about we see it's about to crumble, and that's a good thing. It's not like we should be going, oh my God, what the fuck has happened to this planet? We should be going, about time, let's go. Let the cards drop. I'm ready to get the show on the road.
Well, it's just going to be one of those things to where, the system is overburdened on itself. And it's just it's gonna crumble. It's gonna not crumble. I don't like to say the word crumble, but one day we're gonna wake up and it's gonna be a different world, and that's just that. And we're really gonna have to start making decisions on how we run our society, and the way that we have been running this society, or our societies, or the society that has encapsulated us all throughout the world. Is it's the pyramid system that we're under.
I agree. We're going to have to make changes. And here's the thing about making changes is, you've heard the expression "as above, so below," and when people want to make physical changes, people who do spiritual work, they will envision making the changes on the spiritual level, and then they will manifest in the physical. That's kind of an as above, so below connection where, everything is the same thing from a microcosm to a macrocosm.
I agree.
All the things apply because it's all holographic. In that same vein of thinking, then, holy crap, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, about making changes.
Right.
One way we can do that and get that society, I think, is to first start within. And collectively start to just be responsible with ourselves and our own actions and choices and decisions and behavior, and as examples start to spread that ideal of personality, that ideal of behavior, of dealing with the world and dealing with the loved ones around us and dealing with the non-loved ones around us.
Definitely.
As more and more people do that and that see that example, then the society becomes that, as above, so below.
Right, but then what do we make our? The whole thing is what I think or what I feel, or maybe even I think and feel both of these things is because I hope for them. But it's I think the patriarchal religions are done. I think they're over with. I think that we are in a time of prophecy. There's no doubt about it. I believe that all the prophecies are now being fulfilled across the board. And so I think that the patriarchal religions kind of have to do their thing to move on. I think they have to fulfill their books just to be happy.
Yeah, well, and that's part of what's crumbling too, is the Vatican. The linchpin of at least modern, Western religion. That's going to fall. There's some serious. It's tied up in the banking scandal, and maybe at the head of the banking scandal. And that's going to go into all the corruption and fraud and intertwining in the government and all sorts of things that have been done in the Vatican's name that we never. What's in that vault? What's below the Vatican? What is in that stuff that they've hidden? We know that there are things from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, look, Dead Sea Scrolls discovered. Catholic Church, this is the short version of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Dead Sea Scrolls discovered. Catholic Church scrambles over several years to get all the Dead Sea Scrolls back under its clutches underneath the Vatican. Lawyers and researchers fight and fight and fight in court to get Dead Sea Scrolls. Eventually, Catholic Church forced to give up Dead Sea Scrolls in pieces, in part, withholding some. But here's the deal. How are we to know what they didn't give us?
Right, they're only going to give us what they're not afraid not to give
and what
us.
they've given us completely, and what they have given us completely rewrites Christianity and returns Christianity to its original message, I should say. And completely destroys Catholicism. That's what they have given us. What did they hide? And yeah, I think you're right. I think that modern religion, all modern religion, is meant for control and is not going to be a part of the next world. And I think they need to move on. And moving on, Brother Pete, I want to move on to kind of wrap up the Goodyear blimp. Because I don't want it to. No, I want you to stay on the line with me. I want you to talk with me tonight. But I want to talk back about the Goodyear blimp because I don't want to put this thing to rest yet. I'm still not sold on the whole blimp thing. In fact, I'm still thinking it was a UFO. And you know how days after the event, all of a sudden Goodyear comes out and they said that it was their blimp and it was shooting. And even though we haven't seen any footage from that angle and we didn't see any live from that angle, there was supposedly, that was a blimp and it was shooting footage, right? That's what they said. Here's the deal.
That's what they said.
That's not what they originally said, though. And somebody was wise enough to tape the local Fox affiliate in Washington, D.C. that night talking about the UFO. And I want you to listen to what the Washington, D.C. affiliate for Fox said that night.
Put it down. And the only one catching a glimpse of the Olympics. Some say they spotted what looked like a UFO hovering over the opening ceremony. Just look closely there at the top of your screen. Goodyear blimp says it was hired to record aerial footage of the show, but says its blimp was not in the area at the time. That object does not appear to be a helicopter either. The video has UFO believers buzzing. What do you think?
So you heard her right there. She said Goodyear says the blimp was not in the area at the time. That was what they said originally. That came from an AP wire. I guarantee it. It came from an Associated Press wire because Washington, D.C. didn't call up the Olympics and go, hey, what's this thing on your screen? No, there was a story about it on the AP. They pulled it and they aired it. But, which means that Goodyear actually said that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and saying that it's an unidentified flying object. I mean, you could even look at it and you see something that's they don't have the blimp lit up. The blimp is flying their fireworks. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, you know,
and getting in the shot without giving us a shot from it. What would be the point?
Right, and you think they would have had cameras rolling at all times on it. So why don't they show us the footage?
Because there's no footage, because it's not a freaking blimp.
That's right. Yeah. It's still a UFO. It still is not 100%, it's still not 100% a Goodyear blimp, and I'm not buying it either right now. Nope.
So I just wanted to cover that tonight and get that out there and show you guys that there's actually proof that Goodyear did not initially say that was their blimp. In fact, they said it was not their blimp. And then they changed their story after the Huffington Post also aired a story or had a story online about it being a UFO. And then the next day, all of a sudden, everybody's saying, no, it's a blimp. See, Goodyear says it's a blimp. See? Except they said already that it wasn't their blimp. So what's up with that?
Yeah, they got a phone call, definitely.
And speaking of things that aren't blimps, I'm sure that you've already heard about this. I think everybody's heard about this, but I really didn't look into it. You know that you heard about the 2 Roswell crashes thing this week, Pete?
I haven't heard about the Roswell crashes.
Okay, well, this week it came out that there were not 1 but 2 Roswell crashes, according to a former Air Force guy. And
the colonel, yeah.
And the deal with that is, like, I heard that, I said, I believe it. To me, my opinion on Roswell is that's old news. You know, it happened. It's you know, in some ways the beginning of the story to some people. Obviously, not even close to the beginning of the story, but the beginning of the story in the modern age, definitely, for the Western world. You know, the whole flying saucers craze started right about then. And that was because of the bomb. But, you know, I look at Roswell and a lot of stories that are old news. You know, they're good things to talk about and everything, but, you know, it's 2012. It's August 2012. We're in the third quarter, and, you know, things haven't really changed that much. So I want to use time on the show to discuss what's going on now and what's important for the future. But the fact that this thing came out this week, you know, I decided I'd take a look at it. And what I didn't know about it when I first heard the story, Pete, was that this guy was one of the guys who wrote Project Bluebook. This guy, you know, it was his job to debunk UFOs. He knows all about debunking UFOs. And, and this is the guy who's saying that, yeah, there wasn't 1 crash, there were actually 2 crashes, and they were brought down using electromagnetic pulse weapons. He says that. And
I've never heard that.
Yeah, and another thing that is very interesting to me is the fact that I then later found out, researching it, tracking it down, that it was an exclusive interview with Lee Spiegel of the Huffington Post. That this is where the story is coming. It's basically born into mainstream media.
So what does that mean?
I think it means that it's part of disclosure. I mean, it's you know, they keep inserting. I think it's part of the white hats, you know, who continually keep to insert little things into the collective mind. You know, these little pings into our subconsciousness of reality. The kind of the silent leak of disclosure.
Real slowly or something.
Yeah, you know, the kind of disclosure that we're tired of and that needs to end, that we need to just, as a society, say, oh, yeah, these things are real, let's deal with it. Okay, now we know they're real and they want to talk to us, let's talk to them. That's the thing. They can't let that happen. Not the bad guys. The white hats would probably love that to happen, but the people who really control this planet cannot let that happen. That's the whole thing. They can't. The truth is the thing that will bring these guys down. And once they open that door and there's contact made, it's all over for them, because the aliens, the extraterrestrials, the interdimensionals, all the help and loving neighbors are going to tell us everything that's really true, and then the game is up.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely something there, and it's more looking into. I mean, last year I filmed about 24 little orbs, man, in the skies of Tucson. And nobody will ever tell me that I didn't see them. I even have them on film. There's something there. And there's something that they are not telling us what it is. And we should know.
Yeah, we enough with the secrets already. I mean, we're all seeing it. I'm seeing them in the day now. So I've seen 2 in the last month, in the middle of the day.
Yeah, that's when I see mine. It was in the middle of the day, sun was shining, and man, all these little orbs, man, all over the sky. And I was like, am I the only person seeing this? So that day, I went and got my camera, because the day before, I didn't get my camera, and there was just 1 orb. And then the next day, there were 24, and I ran in the house and got my camera and shot them. I'll send you the video.
No, hell yeah, do that. I would love to see that. Get it to me as uncompressed as possible.
It's on YouTube already. It's what 11/11. It was on 11. No, it was on Valentine's Day last year, 2/14. So it's already on YouTube. I don't have the other. I don't have the old video of it though.
Okay, that's cool.
I put it up there and then just erased my disc a few months later, and voila, it's there, and I'll send it off to you. But man, there's something there, and why they are not telling us what it is. I mean, even if they could say it's military dudes, we just couldn't tell you. All right, man, that's cool.
No, I'm done with that excuse too, because they can say that about anything. National security.
But what I'm saying, what they'll have to do is they'll have to bring us on the runways and say, okay, this is spaceship number 1. This is what we use this for. Bring it up, Charlie. But we need to know what it is. I think it, but in the end, I don't think it does belong to us. I think it's the star people. And man, they're trying to tell us something. Mm-hmm. So are we listening? And I do believe that they are directly connected with the crop circles in England, all this going on.
Definitely a lot of them. Some of them are a little sketchy, but there are some that's like there's no possible way that human beings could pull that off, especially in the time that it would take. Oh, yeah. I mean, so there's obviously something going on there. But why is our collective head still in the sand, man?
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, even when we looked at that date that came out of one of the crop circles for August 4th, since August 4th, we have seen a major upkick in UFO sightings. There's no doubt about it. Within the last 4 days, they're jumping on in, and some of these videos are pretty clear about what's going on. I mean, they're clear. They give you a clear shot. So, I mean, you're looking at them, and I mean, even look at the one like we were talking about in the Olympics. There's something there. There's something going on, and we need to listen up a little bit more. We need to really pay attention to this.
Yeah, well, I think collectively we do. You're right. And as soon as there is actual contact or an obvious presentation of ships made over, once it is undeniable, then the future should unfold pretty quickly, I would think. Then, it's D-Day, finally. And I just keep praying each morning, is this the day? Is this the day? Maybe today. I keep waking up each day with that thought. Is today the day? And I know that it's going to happen soon because it won't be long until September 21st. And September 21st, my brother, is when the Kesh Foundation says it's going to release technology to scientists of the world. And specifically gravity technology like maglev, and I'm guessing anti-grav tech. And they on their own website are claiming that this technology will, in short order, erase borders, make us planetary, make travel anywhere possible in the world in less than an hour. They're saying that this is an eventuality of their technology. They say that this will solve the energy crisis and solve the water shortage across the world. And this is technology that's not new. It's stuff we've known about, but the Kesh Foundation, which is housed in Belgium, actually, I guess, has been working on some technologies and patents and gotten things.
So they are talking about free energy then?
Yes, they are.
Oh, well, if it's free energy, then that does change everything. If it's free travel, it's not going to do much. But free energy, that's what we're all looking for, man.
Well, that's part and parcel of what has been kept from us by the people who are running this planet. This planet is obviously being run. It is being run, and it's being run by somebody, and it's time for us as humanity to say, we don't like the way you're running it anymore. And as Jacques Fresco of the Venus Project says, this shit's got to go. And
it's definitely got to go. It's definitely being run by the big energy companies. The big energy companies control us all.
And who's running them?
Who's running them is
the nameless
the
people
bankers.
pulling the strings, you know? And who's pulling...
It's the bankers, because bankers work off a system that's designed to always work off of people's resources.
Yeah, the trouble is if they're working, I don't think they're the top dog. I'm thinking the people who actually pull the string don't work at all. They just soak up everything we kick up the chain to them, and everyone we think is running the show is actually at best second level, you know?
Yeah, is there really like one dude on top of the pyramid?
Exactly. They've got more money than God, and the whole service to self-orientation, you know, that whole pyramid thing requires a capstone. There can be only one. And that's the paradigm we need to crumble. And if you watch...
And you know what that is? You know what that is in all reality? The number one is big media. Because big media controls our thoughts, man. It controls our minds. And that's what the mind of man, is big media. That's the capstone. That's the eye. You know,
well,
it's big media, man. You know,
it's definitely very important. I think it's one of the pillars of how they do the controlling, though, rather than the very top.
Man, if you could figure out on how to change big media like it is today, man, I think we'd have 90% of our problems solved.
Well, you'd have to find a way to fund journalism, independent of advertising.
Because it's true, man. There has been no machines on this planet, man, that do crank out free energy. And these people have been arrested. Their shit has been taken. Excuse my language. Their tools of the trade have been taken away from them, and it's never put up on the news about our potential with this. And you know what? Anybody that hides free energy from the peoples, that should be a crime against humanity.
Well, add it to the list, man. Add it to the list. Their crimes are aplenty. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. It is a crime against humanity because the people, the poor kids, how many thousands of kids on this planet die every day because they don't have access to clean water? Thousands of kids every day, little babies and little toddlers and little cute guys with big eyes die because they don't have access to clean water, which free energy would, that whole need would just be eradicated. It's unconscionable as a society to...
Look at the emissions coming out of our car that are giving us cancers. It goes on and on and on.
And we don't need those...
Clean energy.
Exactly. But then we would all live, and we wouldn't get sick, and we wouldn't pay big pharma, and we wouldn't be doing our part as consumers.
And we would be free off the grid.
That's another thing. We don't need all these power lines and all these energy fields all goofy all around us. We don't need that. Right. We can have local energy that pulled out of the thin air. It's not even the thin air, the vacuum of space. Pull out of the fabric of the universe that is around us, that has an always unquenchable supply of energy, as much as you want, forever.
Right, and they're trying to tell us that we don't have this technology. I think they say our technology, it's like, not doubles, but it like times 100 every week or something like that. And we still have lines hanging on freaking pine logs.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
We still have lines hanging on, and we're still sitting with 6-banger engines. I mean, something's not right.
Exactly. And you know what? We talked about the Disclosure Project earlier in the show. One of the things that Greer is talking about quite a lot is free energy. And that is part and parcel with everything. You meet the Galactics, you find out their presence, you find out that they're beneficent, that they're benevolent, that they want to help us, and that they can help us clean the world and live basically with unlimited energy, and then on top of all of that, also give us spiritual guidance and tell us how things kind of show us how things fit together so that we can understand it and evolve ourselves.
Well, what are they going to tell us about the spirit? I think if anything, it goes beyond them too. Well,
it goes on and on forever. They've definitely got people. Are you saying that they've got that spirituality is got greater dimensions that they have yet to fathom as well?
Well, I tell you what, spirituality must be greater than ours, because if their technology is what it is by showing us what they got from what we've seen, and they haven't laid down a doctrine of discovery yet on our asses, their spirituality must be much greater, that they're not taking ownership of us.
Well, I don't see that's the whole thing, is how do you own yourself? It's all one.
That's it. And how can you own another man? You can't. He owns himself.
Exactly. And you respect that because you want that for yourself, and because you know that that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. you definitely. So,
related to free energy, is
the water car?
You got it, buddy. The water car. You got it. Actually, this is kind of obviously an older story, but it resurfaces from time to time. And there's a new story today that brought this back up for me. But a lot of people might know about this 2004 Dodge truck. There's a video of it. It's like over 10 minutes long, where they basically show you this truck that they have running on water, and then they go take it for a spin and show you, how they use the apparatus and how well it works. And you listen to the engine, it sounds like a regular truck running on gasoline, but it's running on water. Now, I haven't watched the whole thing in detail to find out what they say about, what happens to the water. Because, obviously it could be irresponsible to just use water instead of gasoline if, we don't retain the water. But I'm guessing that a lot of that gets recycled. And that, obviously, just the fact that there wouldn't be chemical and noxious fumes and exhaust and pollutants would be enough, because we can, recycle water.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. You throw some water in the car. I think that's better than digging a pipe into Mother Earth and then sucking the blood out of her and throwing it into a refinery and have that whole areas and areas and areas of people just coming up with cancer and leukemia and crap like that around our refineries. That's water.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about
much better
smoking around. If a smoker can fill up their car with water and not have to worry about busting into flames or blowing up a gas station. Not that I'm condoning smoking for whatever. I'm just saying that there's also a safety aspect to it.
It sounds like it would be a much cleaner fuel. Definitely.
Well, exactly, and who wouldn't want to do that? And the reason I bring it up is because there's news that Pakistan is looking into doing this now, doing water as fuel in cars, and it's actually they're talking about it, so that's pretty interesting.
I say let them do it, man. Let them do it, and see what they could come up with, and then see if we could get a little bit of what Pakistan has brought us. Cleaner fuel is good for everybody.
Yeah. So it's sound off time, buddy, and since you're here, I'm going to bring in my wife, who I hope is actually out there still listening, because I see she's called in. A lot of times she just listens in. Monica, you out there?
Yep.
No. Now you're.
Hey, Monica. I turned mute off on my phone.
Yeah, I know you always do that. It's time for our new segment. So. Sound off. Time to talk about something. So, Monica, we got Pete here. Pete, what's on the top of your mind? just what we've discussed tonight, or other stuff that you wanted to discuss? Because I know you made a ton of suggestions on our when I asked earlier before the show what we should talk about. You had a lot of great ideas. So what do you want to talk about, buddy?
Well, I think that something that we all should be talking about right now is this is 2012, extraordinary year, and so I just kind of threw it out there. Maybe I have a good story about the white buffalo, you know, and I would like to tell it one day. Maybe not in 10 minutes, but maybe
actually
this
it's more like 4.
Yeah, it takes a little while, but I think that we're here, people. I think that this is that the prophecies are here, and from what I've gathered and what I've gone through personally, I say it's time that we really start looking at each other and start realizing, you know, that we're all in this together, you know.
Yeah. Well,
that would be on top of my mind, I guess. You know, I mean, that I threw that out there to you today because I think it's a story worth telling.
Well, Pete, let me ask you, do you know that I happen to be a pretty big aficionado of Native American culture, lore, etc.?
No, I haven't. I do not know that.
See, I just run across my people. It just happens.
Right, man. Well, maybe we're being brought together for a purpose here, my man. You know?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, I saw you post something this week saying something about calling the sun Heyoka.
Yeah, the Heyoka.
Like, is the sun being contrarian this week?
Yeah, it's kind of throwing some tricksters in there to, you know, make us look a little deeper into things. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool, that picture. And, you know, kind of told a little story within the blue sun. I call it Blue Man in the Blue Sun, but it's definitely Heyoka, no doubt. Now,
was that the one you were talking about that had the dancer?
No, the dancer, man, was the one that I took off of, I had ceremony that day. And it was all about Bahana of the Hopi. And that image on Soho, man, came out that day. And I was just like set aback because Bahana means white man. And there's a little white man dancing on the sun if you saw it. Got the flute going.
Yeah, I was getting more of a Coco Pelli type of feel myself.
Yeah, it kind of does look like Coco Pelli, but the flute isn't as long. And yeah, well, he does. He even has the bag on the back. You know, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Well,
maybe you should throw that on the site. Maybe you should throw that on your site and see what the people think.
Yeah, we'll do that. Did you post that on the EY page already? And then
no, I haven't.
Posted.
Yes,
I'll repost. Cool.
Yeah,
you post it there. I'll repost it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on within prophecies, and I think that if we look at the Native American prophecies as a whole, that and what we're looking at right now is prophecies worldwide. You know, it's kind of like they're all intertwined together, and I think that this is a time to where they are all coming to be. I mean, all you have to do is look at the white buffalo prophecy. It's been fulfilled. There's been the 4 males. That 4th male was born in Connecticut just recently. The other one died in a ritualistic slaughter 2 months ago.
Huh.
And then you had 2 that were born in the 1800s. But there is no doubt that the Lakota prophecy has been fulfilled of the 4 white buffaloes. It's been fulfilled. It's done.
And the Hopi have their prophecies. So yeah, I agree. The Native American things really seem to be fitting right in with, you know, the Mayan, the Aztec, the Toltec, la la la. You know,
and the Christian, the Muslim, and the Hebrew, they're all coming together. It's all coming together now. People are open to it, and it's kind of like, from what I see from the Native American prophecy of the Lakota, man, is the white buffalo prophecy has been fulfilled, and I've seen. I went and saw a thunder or lightning medicine cloud in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And right before it was killed. And, you know, even with that prophecy, was the eclipse, man, that was in Pleiades, that came over the four corners, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, that was in the shape of the bullhorns. And Pleiades, man, is the Lakota constellation for the white buffalo. So it fulfilled it, man.
Yeah.
It fulfilled it. And then like 2 weeks after that was the calf that was born in Connecticut, Goshen, Connecticut. So we're there. I mean, if you look at these things, these prophecies are being fulfilled.
I'd be interested to see what a Lakota holy man, what a Wakashawakan would have to say about these times. Do you know any that I might be able to talk to?
I might be able to get you into one. There was only one that I knew that was in Pine Ridge, or not Pine Ridge.
That would be the Oglala Reservation.
Well, there is this guy on Pine Ridge that I might be able to talk to, and then there is this.
I'd just be interested to know what the actual Lakota holy men are saying about this, and we might have to do that on a future episode. But actually, we are officially out of time, dude. We have run out of time.
I enjoy your show, dude, and thanks for letting me on.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on and keeping me company. I know that we've got people out there listening. I see them out there in the chat room. They're just hanging back and listening, and of course they know that they're invited to call in, and some people just want to listen and see what we're talking about. So I appreciate you calling in, as I especially like ending on this 2012 prophecies kind of theme for the end of this episode. So thanks for that, buddy.
Hey, can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Hey, if it's the Illuminati listening and being quiet, you can all kiss my ass.
Honey, Monica, you have anything to cap the episode off with here real quick since I called you out?
Good, thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to get ready to go here, guys. Quick shout out to the peeps on Facebook, because they gave me a lot of great ideas for tonight's show. Some stuff got in, some didn't. Sorry I couldn't make it all, guys. But I do value the awesome input. So thank you. Thanks, Pete. I know you participated in that too. So seriously, thank you.
All right, man. I'll be talking to you later, and I'll get with you later on then.
Right on. Thank you, sir.
All right. Later.
All right. That's Facebook.com/extraordinaryyear. Go like us, spread the word. Easy way to help others. Awaken, bring more light to the planet. That's kind of what we're here for. If you're on Twitter, follow me at Tim Bravo. And so that's going to be it for us on the 134th day before December 21st, 2012. Keep your ear to the ground and hold on tight, kids. Remember,
do not be afraid.
This is going to be an extraordinary year. Peace is on its way. Namaste.